Welcome, Guardians, to another Thunderforge Entertainment video. I'm Mano 777 coming to you with the April 7th weekly and Nightfall Strike for this week. All I have to say is, this week is gonna suck. I'm leveling with you, folks. It's Valus to Auric with no burns whatsoever. The two modifiers is going to be Nightwitch and Juggler on the Nightfall, and then on the weekly it is going to be Lightswitch. So, folks, this is going to be a rough one this week. I have some weapon recommendations for you. Since Juggler is on, of course, bring the Icebreaker so that you have regenerating ammo all the time. Also, in that same vein, Black Hammer. We'll talk about why that's an important weapon a little bit later on. Next, there's going to be some Void Shields that you are going to have to deal with, so bring along that Word of Crota. Next up, I would bring the Abyss Defiant because there are also some Solar Shields that you'll have to deal with, so that's a good weapon to bring along. And then, of course, Hunger of Crota is a fantastic option here. I'm not saying Gallarhorn because, honestly, any strike you should have Gallarhorn if you've got it. So that goes without saying. So let's just talk about the strategies for this week's Nightfall. First of all, you need to make sure no matter what you take out enemies from a distance, which is why having an Icebreaker and having the Black Hammer is a huge advantage. With the opening of this strike, you go scan a computer console where there are scions around. Really, the Nightfall piece doesn't really start until right here in this video. Now, I recommend one of two things. You can either take your time and go through all these, or you can jump to this rock here. I get stuck up a little bit there. But you are also able to jump down and basically skip this part. If you die on this part, you revive in 5 seconds. You don't have to go to orbit. But this is just a really annoying section. And honestly, I skip it every week. Some people like to take care of it, but I don't. I usually skip by it. If you're a hunter, go invisible and hold the door open for all your fire team buddies so that you can get going on. Okay, this is really where the Nightfall Strike starts, right here. At this point, there will be a Colossus that you'll need to take care of. You'll also have the option of taking the ships that are left and right. Whatever you do, do not take those ships. If you really want to get adventurous, great. But if you're planning on not dying during the Nightfall Strike, don't take these at all because usually it's a 2-hit kill with any of the weapons that they have. Okay, the reason why I choose Word of Crota for this section, at least to start with, is there's a lot of scions that are basically all around here. I go back and forth between my Word of Crota and my Icebreaker here during this section. I will also change over to Black Hammer or Abyss Defiant depending on what I need to take care of. At this point, you're basically trying to take out the 3 guards of Valus to Auric. After you kill the first one, there will be a dropship. You can see that one comes here. You can take cover in the room where you just killed them, or you can back way, way, way up. But make sure you don't get hit by any of the scions. Their melee attack is devastating, and they can hit you from a distance. Make sure you use those sniper rifles to keep your distance away from all the guards. The reason I didn't recommend any shotguns is because with Lightswitch on, it's very easy to die with one hit, especially from the Scions and the Cabal shields. The melee attacks are absolutely devastating. Make sure you keep your distance right there. I wouldn't recommend that because especially on Epic and Angry, it would be very easy for them just to really quickly punch you. Right now I'm just doing this as a basic strike so you can kind of see the layout of the map. Okay, after you kill the first 2 guards, there is a land tank that comes in with the 3rd and final guard. There are 2 spots you can go to really easily take out the land tank. There's that area I shot up there, or there is this area up here, which a lot of people like to use. You can jump up there a number of ways. I like to use that piping and then just kind of jump over to this ledge over here. Both sides you can get hit. The one in the back is very safe. You rarely get hit. But when you're at this spot, pop a Weapons of Light, and what you can do is change to your Black Hammer and use the White Nail perk to your advantage. Just take 3 precision shots at the wheels and absolutely destroy that land tank. It's very simple to do. Just make sure that when he shoots, you back up, maybe get into that Weapons of Light shield, and you'll take that tank down very quickly. After that, you ride on your speeder over to the giant Cabal ship. And basically what I like to do is there's a room right before Valus to Auric. I like to take out all of the enemies that are in there because I like to use this kind of as a safe zone. You're doing it in a way where you're not going to any cheese spots, not going to the upper chandelier, which some of you may not know about, which I'm going to show you, or go to the box area, which I'm also going to show you. Some people like to fall back into this room, kind of just take a second and breathe, okay? So there are 2 spots that you can, quote, cheese this part of the strike, because Valus to Auric right now is a bullet sponge. I don't judge people on how they play at all. Some people want to just do it straight up legit. That's fine. Some people like to do it from the chandelier. Some people like to do it the box. Whatever. Whatever makes you guys happy. I'm just here to bring you this information. But if you jump up onto this spot, you can jump up to this little chandelier here, and you can take shots at Valus without him being able to hit you with rockets, at least for a little bit. When he's on the opposite side, he can shoot you with rockets, so make sure you take cover if he does that, if you aggro him. The other spot is the box spot that I like to call over here. The only problem with this is that you can only hit him like maybe 3/4 of the time, and oftentimes right where I'm aiming down the sights during Nightfall, that is stacked with tons and tons of guys. So make sure you take cover. You can jump out if you need to go grab ammo and take some shots on him, but that kind of negates the purpose of this safe zone. One thing to remember is there is this spot over here where you can take shots. If you get right up next to it, you can still get meleeed. So make sure you take a couple of steps back like I just did and take your shots from there so you don't get meleeed. If you're a Titan, this is a great opportunity. Drop that shield and then use Weapons of Light and let everyone get tons of damage on Valus. Okay? If you are going to just do it normally, which is absolutely fine, make sure that you bring out your Word of Crota. Here's the reason why. The number one thing where people will get hurt is from the Scion Flares. Their melee attack and their energy attack are absolutely devastating during Nightfalls, especially if 2 or 3 of them group up on you. It's a very strong attack. It's very easy to get overwhelmed very quickly, so make sure you take cover. If you can, take a couple of shots with your Hunger of Crota or your Gallarhorn. If you need to use Icebreaker, that's absolutely fine. Make sure you're checking left and right constantly. If you have a weapon that has Third Eye on it, like for example you have some kind of Iron Banner rifle or something that allows you to have Third Eye, that would be a huge advantage here too, because you'd be able to see those enemies when they're coming. Just a thought when you're battling Valus to Auric, because you never want to get overwhelmed by a ton of enemies. If you follow these rules, folks, it will be very easy to knock him out, but it will be time consuming. That's the number one thing that I can tell you about this strike this week. Since there's no burn, it's going to be ridiculously long. So take your time, don't get impatient, maybe put on some music while you're hanging out, and you'll knock him out probably in about 20-30 minutes. One of the cool things that I'm glad that Destiny is going to do is they're analyzing the different strikes, and for example, many times people see Valus to Auric and they say, I'm not going to do it. And hopefully they are going to continue this trend. What they're going to do with the new update that's going to be coming out before House of Wolves is they're going to moderate the amount of damage that some of these bosses in these strikes will take. For example, I believe Valus is going to lose 1/4 to 1/3 of his life. So I hope this is something that Bungie continues to take into consideration, especially because a lot of people see Valus and they say, nah, I'm not going to do it. I also don't like the Archon Priest. I am not a big fan of Omnigul either, but I'm not sure if they're going to adjust those or not. Anyways, Guardians, that is the weekly Nightfall strike for April 7th. Please hit that subscribe button. Please hit that like button. It helps me out a ton. Thank you so much for almost reaching 150 viewers. You guys are awesome. We'll see you next time in the universe of Destiny.